What we have here, it's a Timberland Pro Endurance work boot. Some of the characteristics of this boot are steel toe, electrical shock resistance, puncture resistance, and heat resistant outsole. And also there is anti-fatigue technology. So these boots are one of the most comfortable boots from the store. I went to try all the work boots and some non-work boots that they had. These boots were the most comfortable and one of the heaviest. So they have a real leather and some synthetic plastic rubberized material on the heel and on the toe area, on the top of leather. So there is a steel toe underneath, and steel toe, it's real steel. This is magnet and it stays on. It does not stay on the leather. Also, this puncture resistant material, it's some kind of metal, because magnet stays on even this is strong earth magnet, even through the rubber. And here it does not, there is no metal here. But it stays on the bottom and toe area. So this video is going to be about removing steel toe, because I wore them for a month and these boots are very comfortable and they're good. I have no complaints except for this area where the steel toe is. They are not comfortable in that area because leather forms to your foot, but metal does not form. And these 2 points are, and the top as well, it's after some time you can just start feeling pressure build up. So and they become uncomfortable. In the store I looked, they did not have any boots like this without steel toe. These are the only ones, and they are with the steel toe. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna remove steel toe. This is just quick process. I already did the work. Just gonna go through the steps. The first step is removing lace. They're water resistant up to here, I guess, to this level. I have one sticker right here. Okay, first we're gonna remove this. This is easy to remove. It's not glued or anything. And for the next steps, we need some tools. These are tools I used. Pry bar, long and short pliers, nose pliers. And this from a kitchen butter knife I made, kind of customized special tool. Here it's not sharp, but here is sharp, and it's kind of dull. So it's sharpened like knife, then it's dull, like a dull sharp knife. So it's not really sharp, just sharp enough. Same with this one, and then it's bent. Of course it's shortened. So these are just regular butter knives. They're made into tools for some uses, different uses, but can be used for this too. So this is special anti-fatigue, soft rubberized material, and that's really glued, really good. So that's where this tool comes handy. This is how I started. I was pulling with one hand and applying this tool and kind of separating the rubber from the layer underneath. And then I went underneath and all around and pull this and go in between until I got the bottom piece, and then start going from the rear end. So you gotta use tool like this to separate rubberized piece from the hard white kind of cardboard that it's impregnated with some material. So it's like kind of like cardboard, but it's not really cardboard. So synthetic material, compressed synthetic, like a cardboard looking material. So the problem is to leave all the rubberized material to the rubber midsole or wherever this is called, not on a white hard. And I have some material left because it's glue, like here and here. And then when we get to this point, we take the long knife and continue separating. So this is the hardest process. You need strong fingers, strong hands, and you need some kind of tools. Sharpen it, at least here. Here doesn't have to be, just the front portion. So it's really hard. If you try to separate with fingers, it's not gonna go well. It's gonna stay all of the rubberized material like here. It just stays down. It separates. And then it's not gonna be perfectly good. So I need to re-glue this back. So you keep pushing and pushing. The process of removing this, it's gonna take between 15 and 30 minutes per boot. Depends how strong your hands and how good tool is. So you keep pushing, separating. So what you do, you apply the tool between the white and orange piece and you pry. So you go like this and you pry. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel the tool because you cannot see anything. and you keep prying and keep prying and keep prying and keep going. So that's how you push your hand, and you start pulling up, and you keep prying and keep going. And then when you get deep, you cannot use this, just gotta use this. So with the knuckle, you're pushing up, and pushing this up, pushing this up, like this, pushing up, and prying all the way to the end. And then you pull this out. So this is how this piece looks like. It's kind of thick here, and then it goes thinner and thinner, and all the way here it's really thin. So that's that like a soft, foamy rubber. It's soft, but not that soft. It has some spring effect in it. Okay, so we removed this piece. Now what's left inside is this cardboard fiber reinforced piece. We don't need to remove that. That goes up to here. And then from this point forward, it's a piece of white fabric. So that's where one ends, and underneath starts the fabric. There is a line right here. So I'm gonna use the flashlight. So right there it ends, and underneath it's this front portion, it's just a fabric that is glued underneath, maybe half inch underneath, and continues all the way to the front. So this fabric, it's really good attached or glued. So you gotta start it from the corner here or here from the side, and start lifting it a little bit, like with the tool like this. So you start lifting it little bit by little bit like this until you lift just a little portion. And when that portion is lifted, then you take long nose pliers, you grab that fabric, and you start twisting and pulling to unglue, and you keep going towards front, and you twisting, pulling, and you keep going from both sides until you reach the middle. And once it's the whole piece unglued, you just pull it back. So once you pull it back, this is how it looks like. So underneath, it's in the middle, black portion, it's hard plastic. It's black and looks like hard plastic. I don't know, is that that puncture-resistant thing, like a metal impregnated with plastic, or that metal it's underneath this piece, but this is like a hard black plastic. So once we're done with this step, the next step, the sides that they're coming down, which is the black material that you can see here on the sides, it goes down and goes like a 3/4 up to 1 inch on the bottom. So you gotta lift the sides, and there is a white material underneath, similar like one here, and just goes on the side and a little bit on the front, so it doesn't go all the way here. So you gotta keep lifting these tabs on the side, on the both sides, and again use the pliers, either these ones or the short ones, to pull it, to unglue it, and then use your fingers, and you go all around from both sides until you lift it or unglue it from the bottom. Once you do that, you grab it and you pull it out like so. So that's the portion that goes all the way from the top and on the sides and then on the bottom. So you pull that portion from the top of the boot and from the sides, and this portion, it looks like a black synthetic material, but on the outer side that faces up, that faces leather and the steel toe, it has a white material that it's a little bit thick. I don't know what kind of material is this. It's like a cushion or something, and then it has a line of blue spongy material, rubbery kind of material, and that blue line goes right here, or maybe goes here between the edge of the steel toe. So it goes underneath the edge of steel toe to make that edge less protruding to inside for the comfort of your foot. So once you pull that up, steel toe it's exposed basically. So now you can put your hand and you can touch the edge of steel toe, and you can touch the steel toe from inside. Now this tool, it's also crucial now. So you go with this tool like this, and you feel it on the top of the leather from inside. You feel when the leather ends and the steel toe starts, and you pry between the leather and steel toe. So we're gonna use this tool. Now you can see it right here, and I keep going with it. See how it moves, and then I hit the steel toe, and I go above steel toe between the leather and the steel toe, and I keep pushing. So you can see it, it's right here now. So I keep pushing, now it's here, now it's here, now it's on the side, now it's all the way here on the side. So you keep pushing to unglue, to separate steel toe. Basically you keep pushing like this and keep going and pushing from all the directions, from the sides and from the top. And once you separate it, glued leather to steel toe, then you take the small pliers. Now you're gonna grab the steel toe right here on the top and pull it. So now my pliers are right here, and I'm grabbing steel toe, and I'm pulling back on steel toe. It's seated, it just gets unstuck, unglued from this small portion that we couldn't reach, and it's coming out. And there it is. So basically there's some kind of tape at the edge, like a paper fabric tape. It's more like a regular paper tape. Yeah, just a regular paper tape. But it's easy to remove. And that white fabric that was glued, like a foamy, soft white fabric that it's underneath here, it was glued to the inside of the steel toe. You can see how it separated and stayed here. You didn't want to unglue when we pulled the fabric from inside. So basically, this is steel toe. And it's real steel. They have some made from some composite material, like plastics, fiberglass or whatever. This is metal, and there is a magnet that proves it's metal. Just regular steel. And the one I removed from the left one even has some rust right here and right here. So that rust also proves that it's just regular steel. It's not stainless steel or anything. Just regular steel that maybe it's some kind of high strength steel, but it's not rust proof because it already started rusting from inside right here. So another interesting thing is this one says 9L from the left boot and 9R from the right one. So I'm guessing L it's left, R it's right, but why it's 9? Because these are 10.5. So size of these boots is 10.5 right here. And basically they had 11. I wear size 11, but size 11 in this was too long, too big, and 10.5 it's the right size for somebody who wears 11. So on 10.5 they put a steel toe that says 9. I don't know why, but it was very uncomfortable in this area here, here, and on the top. So I could feel my fingers touching all day. I mean my toes. And this is where it was the most uncomfortable. Here, here, and here. So now these are gone. And this now needs to be glued back, and this is how it's gonna look like. It's gonna look the same, except now there's no steel toe and no damage here. So everything was removed from inside. And that's all.